Well, after announcing our impending resignation from Southend United, we have got a chance still to turn one trophy into four this year. The big news, of course, last time out, we got the one we really wanted. But now, over the next six games, we're going to get a lot closer to finding out whether we're going to add another one, two, three, or none potentially to the cabinet. We start with a big Premier League game today, and then we start our Champions League quarter final. And they are two games against pretty big sides that starts a run of six games that will be decisive this year. Yes, hello, and welcome along to part 152 of Saving Southend with me, Daniel. We are back today as we probably head towards the final 5 or 6 episodes of this save. We've got a 3-point advantage at the top of the league with 2 games in hand. Liverpool wrestled the crown off us this year and we want to take it back. We start that process against 6th placed Arsenal, have had a poor second half of the year away from home. And then we start our Champions League quarter final against the mighty Barcelona, having already got past Arsenal in that competition. We've also then got United at home, the second leg of the Champions League quarter final, an FA Cup semi-final at Wembley, and Liverpool away in the league. So the next 6 games over the next 3 episodes will tell us an awful lot about our team. If you're looking forward to it, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. But for now, before we go and face Darnell Furlong's side, we've got an awful lot to talk about. Firstly, we're going to very quickly run through the youth candidates because it's not brilliant, and obviously it's not going to play a long part in our future, but if any of you want to take over the save after, Craig O'Donnell is an okay player, but the natural fitness is terrible, and I don't see that he's going to reach superstardom. The best one, though, is a number 10 from the Ivory Coast, Seydou Ouattara. He is 4.5-star potential. He's actually pretty good. Very short, not the biggest jump in reach, but as a sort of traditional number 10 playmaker, got an awful lot to offer, as well as incredible natural fitness and work rate. So does bode well for him, likes to drop in and get the ball, dictate the game. Could be a player for the future for sure for Southend United in the long term. As you know though, from our announcement in the last video, we're not worried about the long term now. We're worried about the here and now. And in the here and now, the last 2 months, we have been remarkable. No really big convincing wins, but look at the sea of green, all by 1, 2 or 3 goals since that draw against Cardiff in the FA Cup and the defeat just before it against City. You were with me, of course, for the final 2 games of February as we beat Liverpool to finally end that Carabao Cup final curse, and we got off to a flyer away from home at the Emirates, which we'll be hoping to match today in the Premier League rather than the Champions League this time. We were then almost frustrated as we rotated against Palace the weekend after. We went for a full reserve 11. 3 or 4 came off the bench, but I tried to keep it as tight as possible. Julian Yucalano in the end was the man to get the goal. We then played against Arsenal in the second leg. Joe Wills got a hat-trick to wrap it up in the first hour. The FA Cup quarter-final against League One QPR, a fortunate draw. Again, heavy rotation. This time Yucalano got injured. Logan McNaughton had to have a pretty good game in goal, but Teddy Ivanov and Luis Vasquez early in each half wrapped it up. At home to Brighton, another game that was far from convincing. It looked at a 3-0 up. Then our former man Mauricio got one. It got pegged back to 3-2 pretty quickly, but we shored things up. They got a red card, and it helped to see out the game. Nana Fair, Soren Hansen, and Livan Elmi with the goals in that one. So with that out the way, we're going to go and get straight through to Arsenal away from home. Liverpool have kept the pressure on by winning away at United, one of their toughest remaining games. And if you look at the running on paper, it's not so bad for Liverpool. City are a pretty average side now. They're 9th in the league. Spurs are down in 11th place. Actually, Hull are the highest placed side they've got left from this point on. Whereas for us, as we mentioned, we have still got to play against Arsenal. We've still got United. We're going away to Liverpool. We've got Chelsea and we've also got Hull as well. So, yes, we've won all of our league games the last couple of months. But maybe bar Newcastle away, which we saw a couple of episodes ago, they were probably all games we would expect to win. It's a disaster if you don't. And while we didn't win them all last season, which is why we lost the title, I do feel that we're in a strong position. Now, though, we've got to avoid dropping points, and that's going to become quite tricky. As we head through to the Arsenal game at the Emirates, a place we've proven we can win. They've got both of the first choice fullbacks back in. We know about the centre forward partnership. Ethan Waneri is causing us trouble this season. Robertson is just a perennial goal scorer. He's magnificent. And Claremont has moved forward to a left midfield role this time. which we don't often see him in. He's normally in the back four. Let's get through to the team selection then, because this is the team we played before the international break. And I wanted to show you how wrong it's gone since, basically, because a lot of players playing, got a heavy match load in other competitions. We're also struggling a bit at the back. Herbert's back fit. Rakowski's been poor, so Hansen's come in there. I'm just trying to keep things ticking over. But for this game, as you can see, Kivrakidis will come out for Bernberg. Both him and Torres are really struggling as central midfielders. So I think the only other option is to maybe bring in Garnier. And that also gives us a defensive right-back option because Memic is struggling physically too. Adamson injured. Kivrakidis tired. Yukalano still out as always. So it does leave us a little bit short. We have got Joe Wills on the bench though, who's amongst the goals. We've got Gouillard who can cover left wing. And up front, we've got Nanafer back in form at the right time. So let's hope he can stay fit, as this is our 11 ahead to the Emirates today. Queta between the sticks with Vucic and Carlos the fullbacks. Herbert and Hansen the two central defenders. Robertson and Vasquez out wide. Marciano and Bernberg in the middle. And up front is Liban Elmi with Nanafer. Both of them in form at the moment. Past 20 goals for the season. Let's hope they can maintain it today and put us one step closer to the Premier League title. I really want to regain that crown. Well, here we go with two changes for Arsenal, and no wonder they're sixth. They're dropping Rogero de Palma, who is probably the best centre-half in world football, so no idea what they're doing there. They've also, on the bench, gone for Celso Young, who's a good striker, and Aaron Berek, our former man. I'm just really surprised that they've dropped their best defender, and the one that would have been starting for us if he was fit and had signed for us instead. We're going to tell the boys to prove a point. At the moment, it's one of those where we're feeling confident into every game. We look like scoring every match. We've not been our best defensively, but then we've been mixing a match in the back four because of injuries, unhappiness and whatever else. But we've seen before, one game can change everything in FM. And quite often it's after a run of good form that we just suddenly hit a real rock in the road. As here we go with Robertson down the right. We got a positive start away at the Emirates in the Champions League. Can we do it again here? Marciano runs through the whole team. Marciano! What a goal! 4th minute of the game. Robertson passes it to him, around halfway. Just drifts. Runs left. Runs through the middle of the defence. And then puts the finish into the far corner with aplomb. What a start it is. But yet again, how often do we say it here? You can never just have a good day. There has to be something to follow it. Jorg Robertson, who set up that goal, is off injured. Thankfully, Katala is just back from injury. He's on the bench for this one. I'm not sure he'll get to the end as well, so might leave us with a decision to make later. Let's hope we can put the game to bed before then, because it's a corner kick towards Herbert, who loses out. Wide to Katala, the sub, though. And his cross is deflected. Oh my God, he's missed it. It says it's taken a block. It's great defending, but Liban Elmi, how have you missed that? Normally so reliable in front of goal. That's a terrible miss. Vasquez will deliver the corner. Can we make amends for it? Was towards Elmi, who loses out, but Katala on the left side of the box. Just lost possession. Stays 1-0, but it's a brilliant start. The question is always, though, will we regret not taking advantage? Because Arsenal yet to have a shot. They're only going to get better. Though here we are again with Jan Carlos at left back. He finds Herbert as we take our time. Into Marciano, who's been robbed. You could see it as soon as that pass was played. You get those little instincts on the highlight, don't you? As Robertson's in, it's 1-1 straight away. The flag doesn't go up. This is going to count. And it's all of our own undoing. It's why we don't play short football out from the back, because we don't want that situation. Oh, it has been disallowed. That's a rarity. The assistant's flag didn't go up. You could see it there. And normally, if that stays down, the goal is awarded. So it's broken the mould there. It's a rare one from VAR. We've got away with it, but really frustrating because you can see as soon as that pass is played, it's a little bit slow, it's a little bit lumbered, and then the midfielder doesn't go towards the ball. They just stand there and wait, and they get caught dallying on possession. So we've survived one, let's put it that way, as Marciano breaks away. This time he's got space to run into. Two ahead of him, Vasquez wide, and he chips it first time towards Elmi. Great first touch across the box. Goalkeeper does pretty well in the end. I questioned his decision to parry, but actually did really well. It wasn't back into danger. Herbert wins the header. We stop the counter-attack. With 25 gone, there are signs that Arsenal are starting to find a bit of aggression, a bit of possession in midfield, and trying to push forward with it. As here they come with Oliveira. Space to turn on it. That hasn't been the case so far. I'm just going to regret only being 1-0 up here. I can tell it. Here they are with Oliveira again. Just want to hold it out long enough that we can go defensive, but we're not going to because it's across the box to Waneri. And of course, the marking in the middle, completely all at sea. Soren Hansen decides that, no, I'm not going to mark the centre forward. I'm just going to stand here and let him tap it in. I'll get a good view of it then. It's disallowed again. How was that one offside? They're suggesting it was the through ball out to the right-hand side. The commentary says it looked very close. I thought it was on. Didn't even have a debate about it. But we've survived the second one of the day. Ethan Waneri has got a corner kick. At the moment, our offside line is holding. But what about from set pieces? Waneri gets it back again. And there's not going to be any stopping this one, is there? Third time for Luke Robertson. Soren Hansen's missed header again. If we could have just had the Palmer, and it's why it's so frustrating. He rejected us to go and sit on the Arsenal bench because him and Herbert is the combination. As Nana Fair loses the ball to Marciano, the positive start has drifted, that's for sure. Up to the back post, keeper comes. No one near it. No one near it. And again, we can't just put 90 minutes together. It's been the story recently, to be fair. I mentioned it in the review of the fixtures. We've not just plastered a team, We've won by 1 or 2 goals most weeks. As here's Vasquez to Carlos. We're looking for the same again. Cutting in the left back space to shoot. Good save by the goalkeeper. Corner kicks. Not really who we want to be shooting from the edge of the box when there's so many good attacking players. But we've got a corner out of it. We finally make the delivery count. Up towards Herbert. We've lost another one. And the series clears away for a throw. 10 to half time. Arsenal growing back into it. We could really do with a strong finish to the half. I mean, I say that. We've seen 2 offside goals. But officially, they've only actually had 1 shot, which is the one they've scored from. And we've dominated the match. But we've not made it count. And that's all that matters. Liverpool currently closing the gap by 2 points. 4 minutes of stoppage time. Unfortunately, we do nothing with it. Vasquez and Carlos on the left, both looking nervous. I don't really know why, to be honest. You've won every game for 2 months. You're in a good position. You're dominating the match. Have a bit of faith in yourselves. It does ask some questions, doesn't it? In this save about how our players are behind the scenes. As Fair chips one in towards Marciano. Not many questions about him today. I'm going to make the first sub Soren Hansen, I think. Or in fact, it's the second sub, isn't it? And I might take Elmi off as well. As Vasquez has got a corner kick. Let's see this out first. Towards Elmi. Thought he was going to hear me for a minute. Headed away. Robertson can break. Where's the defence? Where are you all? Well done, Katala. He's got back in. An hour gone. Let's make the changes. It's going to be Joe Wills for Elmi. Rakowski for Soren Hansen. And now last year, you would have said they were both first choice. So I don't think we can have many complaints about them coming on. An hour on the clock. A very good performance. The expected goals is over 2. But at the moment, their keeper's having a worldie and we can't take our chances. So with 20 to go, I've got problems with a Vucic at right back. I've not really got a sub. I'm going to replace the 2 nervous boys on the left. We'll bring Andre on for Carlos. And then who else can it be? Do you know what? I know Gouillard's there, but I'm going to go for Teddy Ivanov. We did it a few times last season, mainly through enforcement in cup competitions. And it really worked out. It's a gamble. It basically leaves 3 up front, leaves them space to run in behind. But if we get it right, we could find a way to win this game. I just hope we don't throw it away. As a Vucic, out to Marciano and Katala. Now Nana Fair. This is the opportunity. And this is where it's a threat because Ivanov is so high here, getting the ball on the left-hand side. To the byline he goes. Back to Andre. Into Wills. Bernberg. Peter Bernberg delivers. Fresh from his centre-forward display in the Carabao Cup final. I told you, he is now the best centre-forward in world football. He's played rubbish in midfield today. Put him in the box, he's a superstar. Peter Bernberg is a striker. Get that on the t-shirt as Ivanov holds the ball up. What an impact he's made again. He's so much worse than almost every player here. But Teddy Ivanov just keeps delivering time and time again. And I can't drop him out of this squad while he's doing so. This is why we've stuck with him. As Andre has got the corner. Can we just put a 2-goal lead in? No, we can't. It's away as far as Ivanov. He might try. Teddy Ivanov on his right. Off the post towards Andre. That was so close to being game over. Lewis Herbert recovers it. And it peters out. But that was the moment. I mean, I don't think you can begrudge us a victory here. But it's not wrapped up yet. And that's the problem. Into the box it goes. Bernberg's up. It's away as far as Waneri. And Berek, our former man. Of all people. It's an average former player. They so don't deserve that. They really, really don't deserve it. And Aaron Berek, I mean, he's average, isn't he? That's a really frustrating one. It's a hard one to take. This has been one of our best performances of the season. That's what makes it worse. And I know I'm gambling on attacking here, which might go wrong. But I feel like I have to try and win this just for the confidence boost. As Joe Wills, I nearly said Teddy Ivanov. Joe Wills gets down the left, back to Bernberg. Fresh as a centre forward again. And he's forced to save out the keeper. Not his best finish, that. But it's a corner kick and the pressure is on. Nana Fair will take it. Plenty of big boys at the back post. Wills is there. Herbert's there. Who's he going to find? It's towards Herbert. That's a penalty. No, he's giving a free kick the other way. The handball goes against Herbert rather than for him. Oh no, we've got a corner to defend. It's into the box. It's away again to the edge. Back to Waneri. Oh my God, Cusqueta, what are you doing? Use your hands, man. It's a luxury. You've got these big gloves on, mate. That's what they're for. Full time is 2-2. I am mortified we've drawn that game. A proper FM in from Arsenal. We had 18 corners. And we didn't make it count. We should have won the match. We avoid defeat. We keep the unbeaten run going. But that's a really difficult one. We've now only got 3 days to recover for Barca. The gap in the league is 4 points, but we've only got 1 game in hand. And we go away to Liverpool. If they win it, they're right back in it. This is going to be a big few weeks for us now. We start with Barcelona at home in midweek. I'm hoping because we've got 4 or 5 days off after that, we can go first team on Tuesday. But Jorg Robertson is not going to be part of it. He's out for 4 weeks. We'll miss all of these big fixtures we're talking about. Marciano played really well. Great start from him. A frustrating day at the office. One that got away. We'll be back in a moment to face Barca. Tuesday night, it's going to be a big one. Well, actually, it's starting to look like we've left at the right time as we return for fitness tests ahead of the Champions League quarter-final. Look at this message underneath the fitness test, which incidentally leave us with a few problems. Tycoon I Southend. So if you're taking over this save and you're already upset in the comments that I've not spent my £141 million transfer budget, well, you're going to have a little bit more of that as well with a mystery foreign tycoon. Jack Power, to be fair, is the person who took over in the first season. So he was the one who came in Football Manager and took over from the mess and the administration at the start. And he has taken us a long, long way. I mean, he must have got that club for a pittance. And now he's going to be getting hundreds and hundreds of millions of pounds. So fair play to him. He's going to become a billionaire out of this. The problem, though, is that makes it a little bit too easy. So if you want to enjoy it afterwards, hopefully we'll be out before that materialises. For now, we've got to worry about the Champions League quarter-final. Southend versus Barcelona. And it's also England v Spain in the other one as well. Liverpool v Atletico Madrid. The box midfield for Barcelona. They've got probably the best striker in world football in Conceição. His goal record's not bad either. And they've still got Lamine Yamal. Oh, okay. He might still be the best striker. 41 goals in 38 appearances. I mean, the scary thing is, in this save, we're in 2040. He's still only 32. Boy, that makes you feel old, doesn't it? Let's get the opposition instructions on and let's see what we can do with this team. Most people are okay on the match load, but we are going to have to make a couple of adjustments. Katala will need to come in on the right-hand side. He's on loan from PSG. I thought he was on loan from Barca for some reason. I don't know what made me think that. I'm also looking at the heavy match loads rather than a full rotation. We're not going to do anything about Vasquez because Adamson should be fit at the weekend. But we are going to drop out. Marciano with a heavy match load for Torres. I know he was the best player at the weekend. And Memic in for Ivusic, which we're just going to have to do, even though he's not that happy. I will bring Rakowski back in, or will I? He's got a heavy match load as well. I've got to look after him because he's in trouble. But Hansen was so bad at the weekend. Anyone else who's fit and can do it will basically go onto the bench here because Gouillard and Garnier are, of course, cup-tied. Or I could bring Kivrakidis back in as well, but Bernberg did well. I should probably keep him in for that. 11 subs available from the senior team. Can we get a youth player in as well? Who have we got in the 18s? I mean, not a great deal of quality. Paul James can go in. He scored a screamer, didn't he? A few months back in the group stage. So we'll give him a little run out in the quarter-final. There's the team for today. It's as strong as I think we can be. Kivrakidis, perhaps the only one that would be unhappy to miss out. I think otherwise we're looking pretty good, aren't we? Let's go and get through to it. The first leg against Barcelona and see if we can put ourselves in the ascendancy in the Champions League quarter-final. Well, Barcelona have Xavi in charge. Not sure if that's a reappointment or he's just been there the whole save in this one, but Xavi is doing his bit. Lamine Yamal up front makes them a pretty good side. The skipper and manager are well-known names. Conceição, as I mentioned, is a remarkable striker. His only weakness is in the air. And they've also got an experienced Jamal Musiala on the bench. And Thomas Pashaj is the man who was scoring goals against us for Tottenham. They signed him for about 65 million. He's probably as good as any of our strikers, bar Nana Fair. Better than Elmi at that role, better than Wills at that role. And he's sitting on the bench for them as their third choice striker. It really does show the quality they've got. Let's go and prove a point note as we head into this one. We'll get a little bit of Champions League music as Steve Tilson Park. But what are we going to do with it? Into the first half. Can we make it count? This is a proper tough tie, this. And I feel if we're going to get through, the home leg has got to be a good one. And already, of course, the one player with a heavy match load we kept in is the one that's got a knock. But Luis Vasquez, gash lower leg, shouldn't get worse. We'll keep him on at least till half time. If he's having a poor game, we'll go for Andre instead. But it's been a really quiet quarter. Would love to have an advantage. I was kind of hoping we'd be well clear in this tie, but I think looking at the lineups, that was ambitious. Half an hour gone, we've managed one shot. And we're not really getting a reaction. Again, I'm forced to the touchline shouts that I'm trying to get acclimatised to not using. But I don't see a way around it. While Barca haven't threatened the target, they've certainly been the more aggressive side so far. And at half-time, we are yet to see a highlight. Not ideal in a game like this. So we're going to ask the boys to prove a point. Vasquez just isn't recovering. I'm going to have to take him off for Andre. He has been a star in midfield before for us, so we'll hope he can do it tonight. There's not really anyone else playing terribly. Catala's struggling, but we're out of right wingers. Yocolano's injured. Robertson's injured. We can maybe play fair there and chuck another one up front. We'll see if we need to do that later on. But as we go into the second half, it is pretty much domination on the stats from Barcelona. From possession to shots on target, and also the expected goals. But if we stay in the tie, there's always an opportunity. I don't fancy us away at Barca, but it's better than being behind, isn't it? Catala is going to be replaced by Joe Wills. We're going to go Elmi and Wills up front, sorry. Fair is going to go to the right in a more aggressive role. We're then going to balance that out by bringing Bernberg off for Kivrakidis. And actually, I'll bring Muscat on against his former club where he rebuilt his career, because Marciano's a little bit fatigued and Muscat can do the job. He's not great as a box-to-box, but he's a very good midfielder. It does leave us with one change for later if we need it, but I don't want to mess with the back four because a clean sheet would be really appreciated at this point. It's whether or not we can turn the screw going forward. But we're just really lacking options out wide at the minute. It's basically Paul James or Teddy Ivanov. That's all we can do. So do you know what I am going to do here? It's a bit of a left field move. I'm going to leave Fair on the right. I'm going to chuck Teddy Ivanov on for Elmi, who's not scored for a couple of games. And we're just going to put the magic man through the middle. He seems to always deliver for us. I'm not sure this is the night where he's going to do it, though. There's part of me that's toying with going more positive, but they're so good with that four going forward that I don't want to risk it. I just want to stay in a tie. If it was a second leg, would be a bit different, of course. Kind of the shame we're at home first as Kivrakidis picks the ball up now, goes wide towards Andre. It's a terrible pass, in truth. And that's a player who's supposed to be remarkable in possession. Merlot plays out, a player we've tried to sign many years ago. And here's Pashaj, the sub-striker. I mean, they've got two good ones on the bench, haven't they? Herbert nicks the ball back, though. Gives it to Kuzqueta in goal. He's starting to have a bit of a poor run as well, which is a shame. But Memic can bring it away down the right. Can he pass to his own teammate? He does. Nana Fair finds Ivanov. He always delivers. It's Teddy Ivanov again. Only 7 this season, but some big goals yet again. Everyone kept saying in the comments, why don't you go out and get that big ticket striker, your £200-300 million man? My points were, one, we had Dion Kranic, who was that. Real Madrid stole him for 170 million. And second, we've bought in Ashley Carr, who's far better on paper. We've bought in Nana Fair, who's far better on paper. But the big games, the big moments, Teddy Ivanov always scores. Always. As Wills finds him again. Teddy Ivanov got the chance to go back, plays it to Herbert. 1-0 at home gives us a chance. If we can nick a second, it would be a remarkable opportunity, though. Musiala's won it back and found a great ball. Chipped over the top. Dorelli gets in. Oh, that's so poor. They've offered nothing second half, and it's a really poor goal to let in. They've said it's Teddy Ivanov's poor pass that led to the goal. Why do I ever praise people? Seems to be happening more and more now, doesn't it? Praise people and they get an immediate mistake. I'm not sure he did make the mistake there, but I'll trust their judgment. As Ivanov goes wide to Fair, he wants to make amends. Nana Fair to the byline, deflects in. What's the keeper doing? He sort of dived to stop it. It's hit the post or him, I don't know which. And Joe Wills taps in. Our lead is restored. In stoppage time in the second half. And we will go to the new camp with the slender advantage we'd hoped. Teddy Ivanov and Joe Wills, the old original strike partnership, doing it again. We're not our best, but we got the result. And while we're not favourites in this tie at 2-1 going to the away leg, we've given ourselves a chance, and a better chance by the looks of it, than Liverpool. Could it be a repeat of last year's final? Because us and Atletico are pushing closer. 2-1 is the result against Barcelona there. I mean, we were outclassed. We had 5 shots all game. But we managed to make it count. Joe Wills and Teddy Ivanov to the rescue yet again. Let's have a look at this schedule, because if we'd been comfortably ahead or behind going into the second leg, I would have just skipped through and played Borough and Liverpool. But I feel now it's the final season. We're playing for all 4 trophies. Let's show you all of them. We're going to do United and Barca next. Middlesbrough and Liverpool, the one after. If we get through to the semi-final, we'll do that as a double-header as well. And then hopefully it will be an FA Cup final and a Champions League final to finish. Or it'll be the final day of the Premier League season where we can hopefully pick up the crown. But that's going to depend a lot on these next 4 games, which will be season defining. Yet again, 2 close matches today, but the unbeaten run is preserved. And there's a few unlikely heroes and a few old ones starting to re-emerge. If you did enjoy this one, 2 big games, the start of a 6-game run that will define the season. And please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know what you think of the Tycoon takeover. Looks like we're going to be leaving at the right time. If you want to stay up to date, see if that goes through before we leave and what on earth the transfer budget would be left at then. And please do subscribe and turn that notification bell on. A massive week to come next week. We'll be basically leading up to the finale of the save. It's been a remarkable journey that will have lasted a full 12 months due to the delay to the next game. But I've thoroughly enjoyed it and we want to go out with a bang. So let's hope in addition to our first Carabao Cup, we can have a few other bits of silverware to the cabinet. I'll see you there to find out if we can. But in the meantime, we will be back tomorrow with a very special episode. The announcement for women's football is coming next week in FM25. We'll find out which leagues and players are in the database for next year. And I'm going to give you a little fun WSL save ideas as it's a league I follow quite regularly. So come and get involved with that one if you're intrigued to play women's football in FM25 as well. And I'll also debunk a few of the myths and the idiots out there. We'll be back on Monday then with a coach's head before this returns on Tuesday. But plenty in the eye above, including our usual Sunday live stream from Twitch. That's up there as well. You can also find the football podcast with loads of content to come over the next few weeks. For now, thank you very much for watching, for being here as always. The start of a massive 6-game run. It's not gone too badly. I don't think we've put ourselves in a great position in any competition. We've certainly kept ourselves in with a chance. And that's the main thing. But the main news today is that a Tycoon might be on the way to Southend.